Hi guys, what's up? It's Will back once again for another fight card prediction. We're here for UFC Vegas 70. Nikita Krylov against Ryan Spann is our main event of this week. I'm actually really looking forward to some fights in this card. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Nikita Krylov. If you've been around my channel over the years, watch me when he has fights. I'm a massive Krylov fan. I seem to bet him all the time, and I did fairly well with him in the past as well. So yeah, looking forward to breaking down some fights, some newcomers on here that I'm still not too sure about, but I'm going to try and break that down and see if I can find some spots that I like. I've already got one bet that I've got so far, and I have got a couple of eyes on some things as well, which I'll make down. Coming off a win last week, I bet it seemed like the very popular Fletcher Carpenter parlay, and then when the line got down in Jessica Andrade, I couldn't help myself and bet Andrade, even though I really wanted Blanchfield to win because I think she has a legit talent, but the number got me there. So yeah, if you can throw a like and a comment on the video, and if you're not subscribed, if you'd like to subscribe, that would be great. I'd very, very much appreciate it. So let's get into this card here. Starting off, 135 pound bantamweight division. We've got Jose Johnson against Garrett Armfield here. And yeah, this is an interesting fight to me, kind of start off. Jose Johnson, the guy I'm very familiar with, kind of heard a lot about him before he got his Dana White Contender Series opportunity. And I actually bet him on Dana White's Contender Series. And when I look back at this fight here against Ronnie Lawrence, it's just like, that was a badass bet on my part. Was not good at all. Since then, he's kind of came back and he's won 4 of his last 5, with the only loss to Martinez. Now he is a hitter, and he is a big puncher, and he obviously got caught in the first round there. And then you've got Garrett Armfield. Like I say, I'm very familiar with this guy. I thought it was a great win in the Dana White Contender Series because Jack Cartwright can grapple, and he was one that was getting takedowns and getting some dominant positions there. When I look at his opponent here, and Garrett Armfield, stocky guy, looks to try and get the fight to the mat. I think he can get takedowns. What I like about Jose Johnson is his striking, but I also like the fact that he can get back to his feet. And like I say, he's shown his last fight that he can also get takedowns. And yeah, I think this is a really good fight to start the night. He's coming off a loss. I think that was a short notice fight, I want to say, against David Onama. And that's a tough guy to come in there in your UFC debut. This was also going to be a tough fight, the Christian Rodriguez one. So ultimately, I'm going to lean on the Johnson side. I think his striking is very clean. He's very long. He's very big for the division. I think if he gets taken down, I don't think Armfield will keep him there for long spots in the fight. I think on the feet is the biggest kind of discrepancy in this one here, where I think his striking can lead him to victory in this one here. So for me, I'm going to go Jose Johnson in this one. Hayley Cowan against Aileen Perez is up next. This is an interesting fight. I think it's a very, very close fight. Let me get that out of the way. Perez, she was in Paris, and when I was over there last year watching the UFC, she was all hyped up for her debut. She was twerking here, there, and everywhere. It seemed to be she was kind of going through the hotel, and she's stopping taking pictures on like kind of risky poses, and she's twerking, and then you get the weigh-ins. We are quite close to the front. It's pretty much as close as you can be, and she's there and she's throwing down. So, and then she comes out there, and I think she fought an absolutely dog shit game plan. Like I have no idea why she came out there and wanted to kind of grapple with a judoka and Stephanie Egger when I thought she could have had success in the feet. But that is kind of the way she fights. She kind of bull rushes forward, looks to get takedowns, and she can hurt you from there. Like the fact that she's at a decent camp in Miami at MMA Masters here, so that should help her out predominantly. Hayley Cowan, I thought she was really lucky to win her fight in the Dana White Contender Series last time out. But what I like about her in this fight, I am going to lean on this fight, but it's very, very close. I like her takedowns, and she can be a little bit heavy on top. Striking's not good. I think Perez, if she was to commit to striking predominantly. I think she could really put it on Hayley Cowan, but I think Hayley Cowan's size and just a dogginess to kind of get the fight to the ground and be heavy down there is going to kind of be enough in this one. So ultimately, I'm going to go Hayley Cowan in this one, but like I say, not overly really want to bet that fight at all. This is a really fun fight. In Nurollo Aliev against Rafael Alves. I love Alves in general. I think the guy is super dangerous, very athletic, super explosive. But I think you can get to him. You can hurt him a little bit. So I think it was like 5 weeks ago on his Instagram that he was throwing punches with one hand. He had a broken hand. So I'm interested to see, like I say, that wasn't all that long ago. And I'm sure they have injuries in the hands all the time. But yeah, having a broken hand's a little bit of a worry in this one here. But I love watching him fight because he's do or die. He can come after you. He can nail you with massive power. And he's got a beautiful, beautiful guillotine if he ever catches you in that. So you have to be very, very careful. Aliev is another one of these guys that find out of Tajikistan, 8-0 undefeated record. I kind of like what I see from him here. I think it's a big fight considering who Rafael Alves has faced in his initial UFC fights. He's fought tough guys, legit tough guys. So this guy getting a jump in against Rafael Alves is a big thing to me, and I'm interested to kind of see where he is at with his skills, because I think he's got a decent jab. I think he can grapple. I think he really would have to mind his P's and Q's on the ground if he stays there too long with Rafael Alves, because I think at any point he can spring up, he can maybe throw a submission up. So at all points, this guy's very, very dangerous. I was actually, yesterday and today, I was kind of on the Alves side when initially my thoughts on the fight were through Nurollo and that one. And I'm going to stick with my gut pick in this one and stick with Nurollo Aliev, to win via decision. I think he'll just kind of wear out the gas tank, and that's something that kind of wanes quite bad in the Alves side. So Nurollo is going to be my pick in that one there. Joe Solecki against Carl Deaton is up next. This Carl Deaton guy, he might have the worst haircut I think I've ever seen in my life. But you know what? The guy's actually really tough. He's a very durable veteran that they've brought in here. Now, you look on the side of Joe Solecki, he is a massive betting favourite. And I'm seeing a lot of people throwing inside the distance tickets on him, which could very well be the case with the skills that Joe Solecki possesses on the ground. And he's legit submitted some good black belts out there with his grappling and grappling tournaments and so on. But this guy is very hard to finish. Carl Deaton, he's been around, like I say, he's got over 20 fights. Seen there, he's fought in the PFL. He's had some boxing experience. And like I say, he's not really fought the greatest caliber of guys. Nate Williams is a guy I'm familiar with. That's a couple of good wins there that he had. But anybody that that's not a great L to have in your record, in my opinion. But he has a discrepancy if this fight hits the ground, and he is getting out grappled by Joe Solecki. On the feet, there's nothing that really writes home for Joe Solecki in my opinion. So for me, I think that Carl Deaton will lose this fight, but I think that good to see him actually getting some fighters get opportunities. I'm like, I'm not too sure about this guy. I'm fine with, honestly. I think that he's went out there in the regional scene, beat some decent opposition, tough, durable, coming in here on short notice, got his opportunity. I'll pick Joe Solecki. He is a massive betting favourite, but I've got him via decision. I think that Deaton is going to show just how tough and durable he is in this fight here, and take this fight decision. Solecki will get that one there. This is a really good fight. Catch weight, I believe it is. It's not 125, it's at 130. O.D. Osbourne against Charles Johnson. I've initially, when I heard this fight get put together, and Charles Johnson is coming in here probably less than 2 weeks' notice, if that. I kind of like O.D. Osbourne when I heard this matchup, and then I went into watching it a little bit, and I just really like where Charles Johnson is really at right now. I think that he's wanting to fight a lot. It wasn't long ago that he fought 2 took out Jimmy Flick. Before that, he had the Zalgas fight, which was very close. And then he had the Mokaev one there, where Mokaev is a legit contender, a legit young guy coming into the sport who's very, very good, got a hard skill set. And that was just a tough fight for him where he got rinse and repeat takedown. But what I did like in that fight is the fact that he made his weight, his feet, every time that he was taken down, even though he continuously got took to the mat, he got his ass back up there. And like I say, he's just a tough overall striker. Carlos Mota, like I say, that's the guy that just got banned for 2 years for taking whatever he took. When you look at Ode Osbourne, like a lot of his striking, honestly, I think that I like his movement. I like his, in some opinions, some of his shot selections, but he does leave the chin high in the air. Did that against Tyson Nam, got absolutely blasted. Coming over a couple of wins there, CJ Vergara, that's not a bad win. Adeshev, I don't really take too much away from there, but he did get the finish. I'm seeing some love for Ode Osbourne this week. I'm actually on the side of Charles Johnson. I think, I know he had that fight where he beat Jimmy Flick, but he went out to Thailand, Tiger Muay Thai, or Bang Muay Thai, what I think what it's called now. So he's been working with Kilas Mokaev, the one that's been giving him looks. There's other people there that he's been kind of been training with as well. Not fought long ago, and he's been keeping in shape for a fight. Been looking for a fight, comes in here, and like I say, he's got a catch weight at 130. I like him here to pop out the jab, be longer, and just do more than Ode Osbourne, just to avoid kind of getting hit with power shots a little bit. I've seen him eat some decent strikes. So for me, Charles Johnson is going to be the pick there in that one. Jordan Leavitt against Victor Martinez. This was another one when I started off early in the week, and I thought, I quite like Leavitt there, and then I seen him getting bet down to now you could probably get dog odds on. I think he's like plus 105 over here in the UK. And then I looked into Victor Martinez, and then I liked what I seen from this guy. Now, I will say that Jordan is he can be a very tough matchup for a lot of guys because, like I say, when I say tough matchup, I mean, you know what he's going to do. He's going to grapple, and he is heavy once he gets on top. Outside of that, the guy doesn't really have a hell of a lot. He's coming off that LT Paddy in London last year, way back in July, where he got his takedown, but once he started to gas out, Paddy just really started to rip him up, and he got the rear naked choke. This was a fight that Trey Ogden, to me, I think he could have an opportunity to win. He doesn't have a great gas tank. If you can stop any type of takedowns with this guy or multiple takedowns, you will beat this guy up in the feet because he has next to nothing on the feet. Victor Martinez, a black belt, I think I read under Carlos Diego Ferreira out of Texas, UFC veteran, 13-4 record, like you see there. Came through a really good kind of load of promotions, Fury FC. I think that's a Texas promotion, if I believe so. And like I say, he's beat the guys he had to beat, got into the opportunity in the Dana White Contender Series, and just really won a pretty unanimous decision against Jacob Gonzalez there. I like what I see from him, and I actually think that, like I say, he could be a bet for me here because I think he can outlast him. I think he's got the jiu-jitsu advantage there if he can get the opportunity to get into an advantageous position. And anytime I get the chance to kind of fade Jordan Leavitt, I'm fine for doing that in fights. So there was points of the Ogden one where I was thinking maybe, but this one here, I think there's an opportunity for Victor Martinez, and I'm going to take him to win this fight here, maybe by a late third round stoppage. I think I'll go for Victor Martinez. Gabriella Fernandes against Jasmine Jasudavicius. This was one, again, like there's so many fights in this one where I think could kind of go either way. I came into this one really thinking, yeah, I want to fade Jasmine. But then I seen this girl get put on her back and not being able to get up. But her striking is really, really solid, like very solid. But like I say, it's kind of what you like, because we've seen from Jasmine that she's very tough. She can take a lot of shots. She's very kind of slow, plodding. But I think if she was to get takedowns, I think she could win rounds through that. Even putting this girl against the cage, I think she could have a lot of success tying her up. And if she gets takedown, she's going to win rounds through that, depending how much work she does on the ground. So for me, this was one where I think I'm going to go with Jasmine here. which kind of surprised me at the start of the week, because when I was watching this girl, I was like, I like what I like to see from this girl. I like her striking, I like her fluency on the feet, but then I kind of got scared off by just how much she kind of got put in her backside a little bit, and then wasn't able to go up. But since then, she's maybe made improvements, so that's something I maybe have to kind of take into consideration. But as a pick, I don't really want to like really bet this fight. As a pick, I think I'm going to pick Jasmine Jasudavicius to win that one via decision there. Erick Gonzalez against Trevor Peek. This guy here, to me, is going to be a fade very, very shortly. And I was looking at every opportunity to pick Erick Gonzalez. And honestly, I want to do it. I just can't do it in this matchup. But the time will come where fading Trevor Peek is definitely going to be in my line of sight. We'll start with Erick here. Like I say, he's had a couple of tough losses in the UFC. Landed some shots on Terence McKinney, but eventually kind of got found out, and McKinney got him to the ground there. Jim Miller, he can kind of catch you. He can land some shots. He's had so many fights, and this, like I say, this is really going to be his big fight in the UFC, because if he doesn't win this one, he's not going to be kept around for a fourth fight. That's without a doubt. When you look at the guys here, 5-0, 18-9, Cameron Worthy, that's a good win to have, but Cameron's got no chin. This guy's a berserker, comes out here, throws heavy leather, and I think in this type of matchup that Gonzalez, if he was to pick his shots, counter strike really well, I do think that he could give Trevor Peek some problems. But it's just the fact, picking Erick Gonzalez in an MMA, a UFC fight, to kind of fight smart long enough, counter properly, don't get hit with big shots. I can't do it right now. But like I say, going forward, I will be looking at fading Trevor Peek, in my opinion. I'm not sure he's long for the UFC, but I think he will give us exciting bouts within the UFC. But this time, I'm going to pick Trevor Peek. I think he lands a shot, knocks out the ghost pepper, and moves to 1-0 in his UFC career. And we'll see where he goes for there. But I'll be keeping an eye kind of going forward on that one there. Mike Malott against Yohan Lainesse. Interesting fight. I think that the line, to me, I think Mike Malott could look a lot like his betting line. I want to say his betting line is like -225. I think if he was to fight properly, I think that fight with a game plan, get this fight to the ground, just don't be stupid and throw heavies with Lainesse, because that's what he'll be looking for. Lainesse has got massive power. And that's kind of really, like I say, when you watch the kind of Mickey Gall fight as well, I should say, Mickey was landing shots and he was bloodying him up. His face was a little bit busted up. I know he got the finish, but to me, he's got a clear road to victory here if he decides to grapple, because I don't think Lainesse, he might stop the initial shot, but I think that Malott can continuously keep going forward, getting those takedowns, and once he gets it there, I think he's going to have just a little bit too much. Lainesse is someone that I kind of respect. You have to respect his power. I'm a fan of Justin Burlinson, who fights over here in the UK. I think it was maybe just a little bit too quick. He knocked him out with a brutal left hook in that first round, put him to sleep, nasty knockout, and then he got taken out himself by Gabe Garcia, and then he's coming over, win over Darian Weeks, and Darian Weeks, that was a very, very close fight. His gas tank kind of faded badly in that one there. So as the fight goes on, and especially if Malott used a grappling-based game plan, I think he will absolutely take the fight away from Lainesse. Lainesse is always going to be dangerous because he throws heavies, and he looks to put it on your chin. So I'm going to pick Mike Malott. Don't like the bet line. I think it's a little bit high, but it's all dependent on what game plan Mike Malott comes out with. Because if he comes out with a game plan of grappling, I think he more than looks like his number here. But outside of that, I think he could come up a little short. And I like Malott there, but not super confident. The return of Tatiana Suarez, 8-0. I think she's moving up to 125 pounds against Montana De La Rosa, 12-7-1. If you've been around long enough, in fact, I think it's 4 years since Tatiana fought. Let me see. If you've been around the sport, and there's a lot of people that aren't new to the sport, but 2019, so coming on 4 years, this was the girl a lot of people were championing as a future champion in the division. I can't say I was one of those guys, honestly, but there's a lot to like from her skill set. A heavy wrestler, good submission skills, got some ground and pound. She's very tenacious, a lot of heart. This fight here, I think you could, to me, it was definitely a big fight there where she came into that. I think she was carrying an injury in that one, and she's had a lot of injuries since then. But to me, she came in there, or she didn't do something right, because she sure blew past Nina Muniz, and she didn't do that. I mean, look at the win she's got. Like, this girl is fighting next week for a UFC title. This girl has held a belt twice, so she's beat and she's stopped them both. So her skill set on the ground is amazing. And this matchup specifically, the UFC know what they're doing here. She's moving up to a new division. She's against predominantly a wrestler. I think her striking has come along, but she's also very hittable. To me, she should look a number and more. But rust, I think, is a little bit a thing. We've seen that a little bit with Ashabov, where he faded out through that fight, and I thought Amos actually fought a really good fight last week. But I don't see Suarez at 125 having the belt. I think she can contend for it. I think the injuries and all the trials and tribulations she's had over the years. I mean, she's been in and around the UFC scene for 7 years now. And she hasn't had a hell of a lot of fights since. She's had injuries and so on. But she's a talent, and I am excited to see her back, and I hope she does very well. I think she rolls in this one. Does she get Montana De La Rosa out of there? I think she does. So yeah, for me, I'm going to go Tatiana Suarez inside the distance for me there. Augusto Sakai against Don'Tale Mayes in the heavyweight divisions up next. This is my first bet, and plugged my nose and bet this guy at minus 110. I could have bet him a little bit back when he was plus money, but wanted to kind of look into it a little bit more and kind of look into Don'Tale a little bit more. And I mean, what you've seen recently from Augusto Sakai is not good. It is against a far better caliber opposition. I mean, you're taking Ellis to Spivak. He's made his way into the top 10 of that division. Tuivasa, he's one of the biggest kind of bombers that you've got in that heavyweight division. If he lands on you, he can give you a lot of trouble. Jorginho, much the same, can land some kill shots on you. And Alistair Overeem, we know that he's another one that can land kill shots. So this guy, Sakai, like I say, not the most athletic guy, not the kind of most appealing to the eye. I think he's fairly solid, honestly, as a fighter. I don't think he's a massive talent within the division, but I like him in this match. I've never been overly too high on Don'Tale Mayes. If Don'Tale was to get down on the ground, maybe get some heavy shots off on the ground, maybe take some of the fight out of Sakai, but like I said, I'm not. I picked Josh Parisian last week. I know, terrible pick on my part. I should have known better, and that's one of the things I was coming at this year, and I should know not picking guys like that. And I did that a couple of times last week with some people. Rocky Martinez, he really wasn't UFC caliber. This guy, he lost to Abdel Wahib. This guy was on stuff. Everyone and their dog was kind of on Don'Tale Mayes that week. I think just as an overall fighter, Augusto Sakai to me is the better fighter. I think he's more skilled in the feet. I think there's more versatility with the striking with Don'Tale Mayes, but I think he's got a little bit of jiu-jitsu. I like the number. Like I said, I liked him at plus money. I got him at minus 110, so I'm in there on Augusto Sakai. These are the type of fights last year I was avoiding. I did fairly well on, but there was some that kind of annoyed me that I didn't bet them, and they won, and it kind of pissed me off a little bit. So this was kind of one of those ones there where I think that he's taken a step down in opposition, and I expect him to kind of get back on the win streak here and keep his job in the UFC. If he doesn't, he's going to be probably his way at the PFL or somewhere out there. But Augusto Sakai for the win there for me. Andre Muniz against Brendan Allen. Another one where, to me, this guy here, Brendan Allen's coming in here super cocky. I've read some things, I've seen some kind of sound bites saying that this guy's not going to get my back, he's not going to do this, he's not going to do that. And I'm like, really? Because when I see this guy, Brendan, I think, is very easy to take down, personally. I think that you can get him and you can take him down. This guy, to me, seems to find the back better than a lot of guys that I've seen in a very, very long time. And I was looking into this, striking-wise, like if this becomes a striking affair, Brendan Allen's all over him. This guy's also a black belt. Just don't like his defense, his takedown defense. I think that Muniz could initially come out, get the takedown, and maybe win kind of multiple minutes within the kind of first round. But I think he can fade a little bit, and I think that Brendan Allen can go hard for 15 minutes. Like I say, use that black belt you've got. Try and keep the fight stunned. If he can keep the fight stunned, I think that he could, I don't want to say wreck Andre Muniz because he's 23-4, and that maybe disrespect him a little bit, and especially his wins. I mean, Uriah Hall, Erick Anders, Jacare, where he absolutely smashed his arm to bits there, Fabinski there, Arroyo. So he's undefeated in the UFC, very, very confident. When was the last time he actually fought? 7 months ago. I thought it was longer than that. And Brendan Allen's on a 4-fight win streak here. You're looking at Jotko, no longer the UFC. Malkoun, I think that's a good win considering what Malkoun brings to that division. Heavy wrestling. And like literally that's all he's got, but he stopped a lot of things there and did very, very well. Sam Alvey not taking too much there and with that win over Checo. I'm going to side with the dog here in Brendan Allen, even though I think this guy could have some opportunities in this. I think if he gets the back, I don't care what built this guy's got, I think this guy will submit him. So that's kind of what he's got to look out for, in my opinion. I think over a 50-minute spell, if this fight was to go 15 minutes, I would lean this guy. As a striking affair, I would lean this guy. I kind of want to bet this guy, Brendan Allen, at plus 200. But there's some of these every week where I want to bet guys and I kind of back off. I did that last week with Jim Miller. But I think this is a better matchup than that. So I'm going to go Brendan Allen. I'm going to go TKO in the mid to the late part of this fight here. I think that he stops the takedown and puts it on Muniz and kind of shells him up a little bit and takes him out. And the main event of the night, Nikita Krylov, 29-9 against Ryan Spann, 21-7. I'm picking Nikita Krylov. I'm not going to go against Nikita Krylov now. I don't know what my record is picking this guy's fights. But I pretty much pick him every fight regardless. And I'm still not convinced that Ryan Spann is this new fighter. Love the camp that he comes out of at Fortis MMA. Love his head coach, Saif Saud. But to me, I still think he's got a bad chin. I still think that he's got cardio problems. And I think that if he doesn't land early on and doesn't really put something on Nikita Krylov, that Nikita's going to eat him alive in the kind of second and the third and the fourth round here if it gets that far. Krylov, to me, honestly, one of my favourite guys in the UFC. Let me see what my pick record is for this guy, because 7-6. So yeah, as you can probably see, I pick him in a lot of fights. And initially I had a run on there, and then it just went to kind of dog mush since. So yeah. That's quite funny. But he's coming off wins. The ghost of Alexander Gustafsson got him out of there. Volkan Ozdemir, that's, like I said, I don't even think that's the greatest win in 2022. But it's a win nonetheless. When he kind of makes that step up, Glover, I thought he was very unlucky in that Glover fight, actually. I remember betting him in that one. I remember betting him against Aliev, won the first round there. Then initially got just rolled out the last 2 rounds. Paul Craig, he just made the mistake of staying in his guard too long. Messed around, got caught. So, yeah, but like I say, these are 2 wins here that I'll give him confidence here. Ryan Spann, like I say, I'm still not convinced with this guy, but I do think he has some parts of his game that you have to be very careful of. He's got, you see, nasty guillotine choke. It's something that he has used that in the past as well. Big ground and pound. And he, like I say, that one there, that finish of Dominic Reyes was absolutely disgusting at UFC 281. but I can't not go against Nikita Krylov. I was thinking about betting Melo in the week when he was minus 150, and then I was like, I'd rather kind of just play inside the distance, because I think if he does get the opportunity to finish him, that he will. I just looked at that when there were like plus money on that. I think he can submit him. I think he's got that Kyokushin karate background where he can land strikes in abundance. Just don't get hit in the chin and don't get hurt. I think he wins this fight. I don't want to say convincingly, but I think if he starts to put it on Ryan Spann, Spann will look for a way out. So, yeah, I'm going to pick Nikita Krylov to win via maybe submission in round 2 or round 3 in that one there. So, guys, that is my picks there. I'm going to go up into here, see if there's anybody in the chat. This guy here, Wayne, what's up, man? Hope you're well. Was the greatest picker? Never. I am Brew Nation, Moyes Audio. What's up, my man? Thank you for that. It's much appreciated. Close Perez going to big brother her. Interesting. I don't really kind of disagree with that. I think it's going to be a close fight. But for me, I'm going to go in the Cowan side in that one there. Gabe, hey, well, what's up? I hope you're well, Gabe. Tiger Bomb. Alan seems like a guy who would give Muniz his neck just to prove he can get it. Hey, that wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. But I think the line is actually decent at plus 200. I think he's got skills there that can give Muniz some problems. But like I say, what you say there, wouldn't really surprise me. Hot Billy, what's up? I'm very, very good. I hope you're well. I hope you're very, very well. Top man, Vincent. Appreciate that, man. Are you still dating the power lifter? No, not anymore. But yeah, right. Guys, that is going to be me for this week. Back for UFC 285. The plan is to get that out on Sunday night. If you'd care to join me around about that time, it'd be great. I will put a link in here with the time it's going to be. It'll be 10 o'clock my time on Sunday evening. So what, 5 Eastern, 8 out in the Pacific, 2 p.m. in Pacific, wherever you may be in America. Most of the people over there. So guys, until then, all the very, very best. Enjoy the card when it comes around, and appreciate you for sticking around for the last half hour or so. All the very best. Take care. And yeah, thank you very much.